Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. This is a channel where we learn English. We learn how to speak English and to write English. So, if you're new here, welcome. If you have been here, welcome back. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscription button and become a member of my class so that I may know the number of students that I am teaching. It's very important. Share this information with your friends, parents. Allow your children to share this information with their friends. You can also share with your friends so that they may become a member of this class. So, Paper 2 English. What is a candidate expected to revise for when revising Paper 2 English? Number 1 is comprehension. Comprehension is a story. You are given a story and questions that are related to that story, and you're expected to answer those questions. Now, these questions should be answered in full. That is point 1. They should be answered in full. I hope you have a notebook and a pen. That is the first thing that you should have in my class. Don't forget. I'm saying in a comprehension, the questions are supposed to be answered in full. Do not start answering a question with because. Answer it in full. If the question reads, explain the effects of air pollution, the answer should be, the effects of air pollution are, or you explain them depending with what the question has asked. Don't go direct to number 1. Number 2, answer the questions in full. The other thing is, the very last question in most of the comprehensions asks you to explain the meaning of certain words as in the comprehension. So go back to the comprehension. Remember, some words could be used as verbs and as nouns. So it's good to go back to the comprehension and see how they have been used in that comprehension so that you may know what to write. If the question or the word is in a past tense form, answer it in past tense form. If it is in present, answer it in present tense form, especially for verbs. So be very careful. If it is in plural form, answer it in plural form. So do not change the meaning of the word. If you have been asked for example, if you have been asked the meaning of the word cook, so explain what cook is, but don't say cooking is, because the question is not cooking, the question is cook. So check the tense, check whether it has been used as a verb or a noun, and answer it in relation to the comprehension. Question 2 is always an excerpt question. You are doing set books, and the current candidate class, your excerpt question shall be A Doll's House, the play A Doll's House. So you're given an excerpt. That is a part of the play. You're tested on a part of the play. So as a candidate, learn to know episodes in every book. Excerpt questions need a candidate to know the episodes in the book so that the candidate can know exactly where this excerpt has been extracted from. The very first question is what happens before the excerpt. So the candidate should know which episode is that. Which is the event taking place? Who are the characters involved? Are we together? And where is the event? Those are the 3 things that a candidate should know. Where, who, and what is happening. What happens immediately after this excerpt? The same. You should know the episode that follows where the excerpt has been extracted. So what does that tell you? Understand the book. Understand the book using episode. What comes after what? Which episode comes before this? You'll be able to answer the question on excerpt. Know the theme that is brought out in that excerpt. Most of the time the question reads, give the dominant theme in the above excerpt. So you know all the themes that are in A Doll's House. But the question says in that excerpt. So which is the dominant theme in that particular excerpt? Unless the question reads from elsewhere in the play. But if it talks about in the excerpt, then let your theme be within the boundary of that excerpt. It's asking about the character trait of a certain character in that excerpt. Let that character trait be seen in that excerpt. We have so many character traits. If I asked you today about the character trait of Nora, for example, you tell me of her being loving, you know, all those character traits of Nora. But the question is that character trait of loving portrayed in that excerpt? If it is not, then look for the exact character trait that is portrayed in the excerpt. That will help you a lot. So, themes, character traits, and styles also, which is the dominant style, excuse me, in the excerpt. So, number 2 question in paper 2 is what? An excerpt question. Answer it correctly. Number 3, it can be a paper 2 poem. In paper 2 poem, you can be given a poem and you're asked who is the persona in this poem. It asks about the attitude, the mood, the tone, the trait portrayed in this character. What is this poem about? What is the poem about? So those are the common asked questions in paper 2 poem. Sometimes they choose to bring an oral narrative. Yes, you have done oral narratives all the way from primary, remember? So these are the kind of questions that is asked in question 3. It can be a poem or an oral narrative. And let me mention this as I talk about the oral narrative. There are features of oral narrative, and these are the only features of oral narrative. Write them somewhere. There is opening formula, closing formula, timelessness, moral lesson, and fantasy. Those, how many? 5. Opening formula, closing formula, timelessness, moral lesson, and what? Fantasy. Those are the only features of oral narrative in question 2. So you can be asked that. Know which oral narrative it is. If it is it's explaining about the origin of something, what kind of an oral narrative is that? If it is talking about heroes, what kind of a narrative is that? Go back to your notes and revise on oral narratives. The last one is grammar. Grammar from Form 1. Articles, verbs, pronouns, conjunctions. Okay? So as a student, as a candidate, make sure you read the question and understand. Read instructions. If the question has asked you to rewrite, do not underline. If it has asked you to underline, do not rewrite. Follow those instructions. If the question, you're supposed to rewrite the question, make sure that you begin your sentences with a capital letter, and when you end that sentence, full stop. Don't forget that. Those are the simple mistakes that students do and they fail. So become that student who is keen and very careful when handling his exam or her exam. So that is grammar. Question 3 is grammar, and the paper is out of 80 marks. So make sure what I have told you, you have written it and you have gone back to your notes. With that, you be sure that paper 2 will not be difficult for you. You will be among the students who will say that paper was manageable. Okay, so from Teacher Lily is bye-bye, and see you in paper 3. Thank you.